everybody, welcome back to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith, and this is
Luke Smith.
And we're almost ready to continue our playthrough of Arcadia Quest. There is one little correction, right? We forgot to give you something.
Gold.
That's right. When Luke killed the troll, Schmetterling, and completed that quest, the quest gives an additional gold. Someone also commented that we did not give Luke the 3 gold you get for killing Schmetterling. That's sort of true. We actually did, but that was in a piece of footage that got cut from the video, and because I made a mistake in that part of the video.
Are we surprised, people?
No, we're not surprised. So Luke did have that gold already, so now he has a total of, what do you have there? 8 gold, and that's how much you should have. I also have 8 gold, so we're pretty evenly matched there. Steve Main got the suggestion with the most votes for this turn. So let's go to the table and see what he wants to do.
So Steve wants me to move Greensleeves 1, 2, 3, and shoot Johan with my slingshot.
Now, how can you shoot with your slingshot?
The potions.
That's right, you have the potions. When you drink that potion up, you can then take all of the guild tokens off of that character's items. So now your slingshot can be shot again. How many dice do you get to roll, Luke?
2.
All right, you're gonna need to see some range.
Come on.
Whoa.
Yes! Uh-huh.
That's not good. That's not good for me at all, because the slingshot, when you get a crit, that's worth an additional hit, right?
Yep, so that's 3.
And you get to roll again. Oh boy, here we go.
Oh gosh.
Oh my goodness, another crit. Okay, I guess you get to roll again. You know, after the last episode, people were saying, Lucky Rodney. I picked up quite a bit of luck in that last one.
Damn.
And looks like you've taken it all back. Okay, so this is not a big deal. Luke has rolled a total of 5 hits. And now Johan gets 3 defense dice. So as long as I roll all crits and then get to roll more crits, I'm fine.
You need to get
You're never quite out in this game.
5. Wow!
Wow, well that is, everything's right with the world once again. That means you've done a total of 5 damage.
Does that end the game?
Well, that certainly does defeat Johan. Johan had only 1 life left, and so you've defeated
5
him.
damage.
5 damage. You get a gold token when you defeat a hero. Whee. Johan is defeated, so I have to take one of these death tokens and put that on Johan. Luke gets to put one of his guild tokens on the Kill Blue quest, and he also receives a gold token for completing it. And because he's completed 2 of the quests, he's right. He just won this scenario. Well, we have our victor. Congratulations, Luke. Well done. People were guessing that this could be a very short episode. And you guys were right. Actually, Steve had some help from Stephen Mangles, who had proposed some ideas in case Greensleeves had missed, which probably still would have resulted in me being defeated. But the game's not technically over yet. When you finish the scenario, if you're playing the campaign, you have to resolve your death tokens, and you have gold you can spend to get upgrades. So why don't I clear away some of the stuff on the table, and then we'll show you what you would do. Well, first we have some more gold rewards to give out. Looking at the different quests, Luke killed Blue and the troll, and so at the end of the scenario, he's getting 1 gold for this one, and a second one over here. I managed to complete Kill Orange, so I will get an additional 1 gold for that. Completing quests give you bonuses in other scenarios. For example, this is part of the map for the Alchemist District scenario. And this troll's hideout is an area only accessible by the player who completed the Kill a Troll quest like Luke did. So during this setup, he'll be able to pick one of these 2 Schmetterling rewards to place in that room. And if he goes there, he can collect it. There's another quest as well, which has a similar hidden room. Also remember, the winner of the scenario gets to pick the next scenario that will be played. And here's another reward to hand out. Scarlet ended the game with these 2 treasure tokens, and written on the tokens you'll see a number, 4 and 2. So you collect that amount of gold. Any exploration tokens that you receive during a scenario go away at the end of that scenario. So once I've traded these in, I'll discard these. Any potions Luke had that he didn't use, those get returned to the box as well. If you have characters with Death Curse tokens, you remove all of them, and for each one that you remove, you draw a Death Curse card. Now, I only had yes, I only had 1 Death Curse token, so I had to draw 1, and look, it's the Severe Nosebleed. Which
the slingshot must have made it.
Yeah, it must have hit him right in the nose. And this severe nosebleed, it says it occupies a card slot. Now sometimes these death curses, they just sort of get attached to the character. This one is taking up a space. So now Johann's only going to be able to use 3 items during the next scenario. Remember, death curses only last for 1 scenario and then they're automatically removed. But the worst part about this is it subtracts that character's life total by 1. So Johann can now only take 2 damage before being killed, making him even more prone to future death curses. Now let's take a look at Luke's characters.
Well, Seth is feeling even worse. He has 2 death curses.
Right, so you're going to have to draw 2 death curse cards. Now you don't keep both of them, you just keep the one that has the highest value. So the first one here is nosebleed. Oh, it's just a nosebleed like I had, except it's not severe. This one also subtracts 1 from your life total, but it doesn't take up a card slot. However, amnesia has a higher value, so this is what you're going to get stuck with, and it says you place it on your hero card, and then that hero loses its natural ability. And that's the ability that's written here. So Seth will no longer stop people from rolling their defense dice when he attacks them with magic items.
That's naughty.
So Johann's a little easier to kill, and Seth is a little harder to kill with. Now you take the upgrade cards that are marked with a level equal to the number of the scenario in your campaign. So if we just finished the first scenario that we played in this campaign, we would take the level 1 upgrade cards, which I have here. You shuffle them up, and then you deal 6 to each player. So I'll take these, and Luke will take these. The rest you can just return to the box. So now the players look at the items in their hand, and they pick 2 to keep. Now, you're not really keeping them, and you're not paying for them yet. These are 2 cards you might get a chance to keep, and it ensures the other players can't have them. You put those 2 that you want to keep face down in front of you, and then you pass the rest of your cards to the neighbor on your left. Well, there's only 2 of us, so just swap. And then you do the same thing again. You look through and you pick 2 more items. Ooh, there's some good stuff here.
Oh gosh.
I think I'm going to take these 2. And yeah, I'm ready to pass. You ready? Okay.
Ta-da.
So then, of course, the 2 that you're past, you have to keep. Now, you look through your final 6 upgrade cards, and you can buy up to 3 of them. Keep in mind, money doesn't carry over. Well, you can keep 1 gold, but that's it. Anything else you don't spend, you lose. So you may as well spend as much as you can. So why don't we both just take a moment, we'll look through, figure out which ones we'd want to buy, and then we'll show you the upgrades that we picked out. So Luke completed his shopping, and here's all the money he had. And remember, each item's cost is listed right here. So what's the first thing you picked up, Luke?
The crescent bow.
Right, this is a ranged item that lets you roll 3 dice.
And then I grabbed the orc beater.
Wow, that was expensive, 8 gold. Now, this lets you roll an additional die against orcs and goblins, and you already start by being able to roll 4 dice. So that's a lot, and there's a lot of orcs and goblins, pretty useful. And your final item?
Instead of the rusty blade, it's the trusty blade.
And look at the price on this thing. So if you're thinking, wow, if I don't make a lot of money in this scenario, I'm really going to be cut out here. The trusty blade only costs 1 gold, but it gives you 3 dice when you attack. It provides you with a reroll and an extra defense die. And remember, these symbols are permanent. So even if you've already used this item, if later on you're fighting something else, even with a different item, you get to roll the extra defense die, and you always have that reroll for attacks and defense. This costs 12 gold, and that's how much you had, Luke. So you spent all your money. Here's the loot I brought home after shopping. I have the bleeder here. This is going to give me 3 dice to roll during an attack, and each crit deals 1 additional hit. And I thought this would go nice with the cleave. This is actually an ability. It says permanent, and that means that this is always active for my character. Now, my sword and axe attacks may target an additional enemy close to this hero. That's really useful if you're cleaving through several monsters or even enemy heroes. And for added protection, I picked up the orc pelt. This is going to give a character an additional 2 defense die, and you'll notice it says here that each character can only have at most 1 piece of armor. Now, I wasn't quite as efficient with my spending. In the end, this only cost me 12 gold as well, but I have an additional 3 here that I didn't spend. I'm going to get to keep 1, but everything else gets removed. And we're all set up to play another scenario. But unfortunately, not with you. Luke and I are in the middle of another campaign that we actually began before we started this playthrough. So we're going to go back and continue that, but hopefully you enjoyed seeing how this game works, and if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate putting them in the comments below. But until the next episode,
Thanks for watching.